Barbara wants to know if you could explain why you advocate green juices rather than smoothies.
Well, I know the smoothies, we're in the hit parade of the smoothie era now. And I know there's a lot of innuendo and suggestions, and I'll go back to where smoothies came out. They weren't called smoothies then. Back in the early 1980s, Ann Wigmore, our wonderful founder, God bless her, found out how much it cost us at Hippocrates to make green juices. And being a very good Eastern European and being very frugal, she said, well, some people, if they're not sick, we can throw a whole lot of things in a blender and put a little water in and basically give that to them. Now, we never adapted that with the Hippocrates program, And as Anne got a little older and she went off on her own, she somewhat popularized green smoothies. Now, there's a whole lot of romantic stories about how it's scientifically valid, this and that. Now, let's give you some real science and real facts on this. When you put something in a blender, say goodbye to the nutritional levels. Because when you blend a food for a minute and a half to 2 minutes, you're killing 85 to 92% of the nutrients in it. The better the blender, the Vitamixes of the world will kill more. Now, again, the companies that sell those are going to say, oh, Dr. Clement's wrong, and we have proof it's not. Baloney. How you kill anything is to oxidize it. And what oxidation means, you blow oxygen around it and through it, so it breaks down the entire structure of it. How you get nutrients out of a plant, you break the cell open, and the juice comes out, and that's where the nutrients are, and then you blow oxygen through it. You're not going to oxidize it and kill it? Of course you are. And so what happens is you lose 85 to 92%. Does that mean I say never take a blender and use it? Of course not, because rationally, most of you are addicted and habitual about the way you used to eat. And so when moving to a raw or living food lifestyle, you need things to look like, feel like, taste like, and act like the foods you're familiar with, at least in the initial stages. And usually the initial stages are years, not months. So yes, use blenders, but do not consider them nutritional or healthy food. And certainly do not consider them a juice. It's absurd for a blender company to tell you that it's better to take solid food and drink it because it's liquid, because you get roughage, than juices. Juices are totally different when extracted with a proper juicer than a blended food. Number one, what we do know in real science is that 80% of the nutrients of carbohydrates, by the way, carbohydrates are what you put in that blender, vegetables, fruits, etc., are digested in the mouth. Now, all I know is that there's two things I tell people to do I still struggle with when it comes to diet. One is chewing well enough. Usually I'm getting on a program to talk to somebody or driving to a lecture and chewing before I get in there. Now, I'm going to tell you all right now, the worst way to eat. I don't care what you're eating and how nutritious it is, you're going to get very little nutrition compared to what you would if you sat and chewed it. Now, if you and I listening, and let's all be candid, have a really hard time chewing well and adequately enough, can you imagine what happens if you take something, blend it up, make it into a liquid when it's really not liquid, and swallow it? My God, the fermentation and the putrefaction that happens after that. Now let's compound it. Somewhere somebody silly hit their head and got dumb along the way and said, hey, we can mix fruits and vegetables together. So now besides the fermentation that will happen because you can't digest something that's 85 to 92% dead, now you have a further fermentation and putrefaction from the ill combination of fruits and vegetables together. Now, why you all like that is it's easier to clean a blender than it is a juicer that really works. The better ones are double auger juicers, or at least single auger juicers. They're a pain in the butt. This morning I did wheatgrass at home. It took me 5 minutes to clean the juicer. It would take me 20 seconds to wash out a blender under the spigot. But what is the difference? Nutrition versus lack of nutrition. We consider blended food recreational food, not healthy food.